I was just patient, never try skating. Fuck niggas hating.
You've heard the saying, money is the root to all evil. As we evolve, I'm starting to believe that sex is the root to all evil. So, of course, money motivates a lot of things. Money is a tool that can be used to do a lot of things in life that you might need and want to do. It could even save lives, you know what I'm saying? It could feed a family, etc., etc. We all know what money can do for us. But the reason why I'd say that sex is the root to all evil is because you might have a woman who is hyper focused on, dating a man who's a provider in hopes that he is able to provide for her monetarily, her lifestyle, her dreams, her wishes, her desires. She likes trips. She likes opulent opportunities, aka luxury experiences. And, a man with money, she views him as a good candidate to entertain. She has spent money on her weaves, her looks, her aesthetics, and she got herself to a place where she feel like she's qualified for a man of that status, of a financial status that can survive, satisfy her lifestyle and his own. And maybe he has kids, and maybe he has other women that he needs to entertain as well. So her main focus would be his money. But then you also have men who do things for the love of money, as the song implied, hurt people, rob, et cetera, et cetera. But what about the men who gain access to money through hard work, or maybe they're heirs to some kind of throne or business, and then they have access to this money, and money is of no value anymore, to the point where they are willing to give it away frivolously to a woman who has a BBL, to a woman who could potentially provide sexual favors. And that is where we end up finding ourselves now, where there's a lot of men who are willing to invest in just having access to a woman, because to them, they believe that it's less stress, less headache. As they say, you don't pay a 304 for the sex, you pay her to leave. And they are paying at the hole, as they so eloquently put it. So it looks like the attention, or the demonic entity has shifted from being prioritized around money to being prioritized around sex. Sex being used by women to lure men in for transactional purposes. So they use what they got to get what they want. They use their bodies. And then men being weak below the zipper, to the point where they are willing to spend their money to gain access to a woman and was below her zipper. So although the saying money is the root to all evil still exists, I'd like to put my own twist on it and say sex is the root to all evil. And that's why in this video, I want to discuss a man having sexual discipline and what that looks like and what it can actually do for a man. You might be a man like myself who lacks sexual discipline. At this moment, I don't. But growing up, I lacked sexual discipline. I did whatever I felt, necessary, or felt comfortable, or that I desired. It didn't get me anywhere. But you don't know that just because someone said it. You don't know that because you watched the video. You know that most of the time because you went through life and you had that experience. But if you are somebody who has discernment, and maybe you do have experience, and maybe you are looking to make an adjustment in your life and you want better, you don't know what it is, but you're seeking a higher quality of connection, relationships, just experiences, maybe even just want your life to go better in general. You want to become more successful. You want to be more dedicated. You want to have things that are sustainable. There's a certain level that we as men can reach in life, where everything around us is going well, and we are the king, so to speak, of our own kingdom and castles, because we are the ones that are determining the sustainability or the longevity of our lifestyles. I mean, there's a possibility that we can have a successful relationship, and or marriage. We can be successful with having a family, children. We can be successful at running businesses. We can be successful at building things, but it takes a certain amount of focus in order to get to those things. And one thing that's definitely stealing our focus away is sex. As soon as you log on to social media, if your profile is anything like mine's, all you see is the twerking videos. You know what I'm saying? The TikToks, and the woman does this little shaking dance, and then she spins around, lifts one leg up, and then she shakes it and all that stuff like that. And then what you notice that starts happening within you is that you start lusting and you start desiring things that you cannot have. And you click like, and you might jump in the comments, and then you start going through your phone and your call log and trying to call all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? You find yourself getting weak to a desire that is insatiable. It can never be satisfied. And you lost focus. And then you start entertaining people that don't mean you any good in your life. They don't have any kind of wisdom, intellect, any kind of value that they can add to your life, you know what I'm saying, or any kind of way, but other than what comes in that box. Okay. So there's a couple of things that as men that we can do in order, if we desire, because if you're a man who doesn't desire to have sexual discipline, therefore you are succumb to your sexual desires, and you are willing to pay for it because you are in a place where you like, I just gotta have it. I got needs. I don't care about nothing Jerome is talking about. Please, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get me mines. I'm not talking to you. That's fine. Do what you do. But if you are a man who does actually desire to have a lifestyle that is more fulfilling, and you are in more control of it, and that you can actually take somewhere, and then you find yourself having more meaningful connections, and you find yourself, actually falling into who your purpose, who you were intended to be. Well, there's a couple of things that I can share with you that I do, and that you can possibly do yourself if you so desire, that will help you with gaining more sexual discipline. Okay. If you stuck around with me this long, thank you for allowing me to break that part down to you, so we're clear on what I'm about to talk about. But I'm gonna jump right into it so I don't waste any more of your time. Number one, when it comes to things that you can do that help gain sexual discipline so that you can be more focused and you can be a man who's more goal driven and actually reach those goals, instead of being one of these men who whose life's pursuit is to get boxed, and who is being succumbed to his desire to have multiple women, and just even if you are successful, if you want to do more things and you just want to have more self-control, number one thing is, I will say that you have to watch what you ingest. You have to watch your social medias and the movies you watch and the websites you visit and stuff like that. And you have to get yourself to a point where you intentionally dodge those things. Growing up in my hood, Long Beach, California, gangs were, as soon as you walk outside your house, you were in the gang. And I grew up managing to never gang bang a day in my life. And I am 39 years old. And that wasn't an easy task, because there was times I just felt like, I wanted to hang with my friends and they were part of a gang. I wanted to do it. But one thing I had to do is I had to ask myself questions. I had to say, what is that actually doing for me, right? And I had to intentionally avoid situations that would, and people who would draw me into that type of atmosphere. So I think that if you watch what you ingest as far as your desire for sex, then you minimize how much of the online entertainment or strip clubs or anything like that tempts you, that you ingest. You have to be intentional. You have to legit attempt to avoid that type of entertainment. I know it sounds like a tough thing because as soon as you log on to IG, Facebook, Twitter or whatever, X or whatever it is, all you see is women spinning around and twerking and doing all this stuff like that. But me, what I do is I get on, I follow a lot of cooking channels because I love to cook. I follow a lot of spiritual channels, preachers, anything religious. I'm a very spiritual man, and anything that's like self help or building DIY projects, I love that kind of stuff. But as soon as that filter starts giving me women that's twerking and dancing and moving and gyrate, I log off. My first attempt is to click those first little 3 buttons and try to see if I could press not interested but it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? It's clearly a flutter of women who just, have enough time and energy to make TikToks shaking their butt while they're wearing spandex and no panties. You know what I'm saying? And it gets worse. I mean, if you are subscribed to videos like this online, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, number one, we have to watch what we ingest. We have to limit our, visual. Men, we are very visual creatures. We have to like watch what we're watching, man. We gotta make adjustments. We gotta move those things around. We gotta log off. Okay, in order for us to gain focus. And number two, I would say is that you want to ask yourself, what does the box come with? Okay, whenever you are in a corner and you are tempted or you are dealing with a female who is throwing it at you, who's making it easy for you, and then you kind of like, geez, I'm gonna turn this down. How often does this come? Ask yourself, what does it come with? And not what it comes with as far as how much it costs. You know what I'm saying? It might not cost you anything, especially if you are not the type of man who pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody is throwing it at you, when a woman is throwing it at you, ask yourself, what does it come with? Because why is this person trying to give it to you for free? What does it come with? Okay. I'll tell you one thing it comes with. It comes with you being used. It comes with you being used for the bare minimum for someone else's benefit outside of your own. You know what I'm saying? And so you entertain this woman and then she can run off, or she might want it more often or whatever. It can come with a lot of toxicity, a lot of drama, unwanted attention. It can come with strings attached that are invisible that you don't know until after you do that. Headaches. It can come with a stalker. It can come with someone that's busting out your windows, calling your phone from 13 different phone numbers. I have a lot of experience, obviously, in that department. So if you ask yourself, it implies that you are intentional about your decision and more conscious about your decision to engage with a woman intimately. And it's kind of like you're checking, what is that attached to? If that box is attached to something that's, beneficial to me, that's a different story. But if it's attached to somebody that is toxic and that can do more harm than she can do anything else, by asking yourself, what does that box come with, will help you make a more conscious decision on whether or not to engage or not. And it's probably going to ruin your desire to have it. You know what I mean? And that's what you actually want, especially if it's meaningless. It's not attached to somebody that comes with anything that's going to add to your life. Okay. Number 3, you want to stay being busy doing things that progress you. Now, you hear a lot of people say this and work on yourself, man, get in the gym and all that stuff. Yeah, but get hobbies, get into sports, stay doing something that keeps your mind off of that, because that's like an idle game or sport. I have a boy, he tells me that sex is a sport, and it really is. Sex did start off being something that was used to procreate, but as we evolve as human beings, sex is now something that we do to pass time. Sex is also something that we do to cover up any kind of feelings of pain, or it's like, ibuprofen, you know what I'm saying? Sarcastically speaking. So if we keep ourselves busy with doing things that are actually beneficial to us, to our mental health, our physical health, our future successes and all of that stuff like that, then we would have less time on our brain to be thinking about that. And we should be reserving that energy, sexual energy, for somebody that is, it can be more reciprocal energy, where it's like, that's not the only thing we exchange. And I know this sounds like, yeah, it sounds good, but this is only for somebody who has that desire, who actually has that mind to want more out of life. If you don't want more out of life than to just go to work, and you don't want to put any effort into, and you don't believe that there's a woman out there who can stimulate you intellectually or mentally or emotionally outside of anything physical, then what I'm saying really ain't gonna apply to you, and you're not gonna listen. But that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Take it with a grain of salt, or don't take it at all. It doesn't matter to me. But I'm still gonna apply these things to my life, because I am one of those men who wants more out of life than just a physical attraction or interaction with a woman. And if I can't have what is more fulfilling to me, then I just don't want him. And I have other things to be focused on. I mean, it took me a minute to do this video because I've legit been busy doing other things, so where I haven't even thought about a woman. And then I just wanted to come and do a video like, yo, let me do something, you know what I'm saying, to stay active. But I've legit haven't been thinking about women at all. I haven't been on a date. I haven't even talked to a woman. I've attempted to talk to a couple of women just because I like log on to online dating, and then I'll click like, and then if I match, you know what I'm saying. I had a woman recently, just for entertainment purposes, not to go off track, but I had a woman recently that we were talking online dating, and the messages were coming fast. I was like, okay, cool. She must have read my bio and she's serious. As soon as I asked her to get off the app and let's get the phone number, it took her 20 hours to respond. She was deleted. So my patience and tolerance for people who want to play games and put me on put me in the bullpen or on rosters, or they want to use me in the option, and they can see past me. They not really bye. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not even controlled by my lust anyway. So but I am making myself available in case there is a woman out there who doesn't desire to waste my time, then I'd naturally bump into her. But it's not something that I'm like so gun-ho about doing, and it's not something that I'm like being controlled by my lust and I just gotta have a woman in my life kind of deal. It's at the point now where I don't care. I don't feel deprived. I'm alone. I'm not lonely. Okay, and hopefully that's where you are too. You know what I'm saying? That's the best place to be, because when you are single, you have all the free time that you need to put into yourself, and it doesn't offend anybody, and it doesn't go against the boundaries of that relationship or the sustainability or the health of that relationship to be selfish and focus on you. Okay, so it's really not called selfish at that point. Okay, enough said. Going on to my last point. Oh, not last one. This is number 4. Number 4 is you want to watch how not being thirsty gets you ignored. And this is something that is definitely going to assist you and make you kind of like not even want it even more, because by you not being thirsty to a woman and you're trying to have regular conversations, this might actually be a spinoff of my last statement, because when you're not leading with sex and then all of a sudden she's not interested, well, she realized she has no power. Okay, and this is how you keep the power. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not some thirsty dude. You're not leading with sex and saying, damn, you look so beautiful, man. Damn, why you look so edible? And you're not saying, you're not one of these goofball dudes jumping right in the inbox and trying to jump right into the sheets with her. You know what I'm saying? And you'll watch how there's nothing that she can really extract from you, because she'd have to be more of an intellectual stimulant in order to, gain your attention or to even be in your presence. And if a woman doesn't have that ability to do so, or her intentionality is opposite of someone who would like to have an intellectual or more meaningful connection, you'd get ignored. You'd get overlooked. You'd be bypassed. And that alone, not being a thirsty dude alone, will save you a lot of time in dating, because you wouldn't attract women who use their sexuality to get what they want out of men. Lastly, number 5, you want to maintain your sanity and your dignity. I mean, a lot of these men who are, what they call it, crashing out over women, going to jail and doing weird stuff to other men out of jealousy and envy, and they're going to the gym and they're hyper focused on getting buff just to get a girlfriend, and not saying that all of them are doing that. There are men who do, like I said, they find other things to keep their mind off of women. But as soon as you get yourself to a state where you ever been on the grind and you got yourself up, you said, I need to get $100,000. And once you get close to that grind, all of a sudden, all the women is after you. Or how about this? When you get in a relationship, then all of a sudden, all the hoes want to come out and they all on you. And you're like, well, y'all waited till I got in a relationship. And then you feel that temptation coming. That's how it works. That's why it's important that you shut down the sexual part in your brain as far as it being a priority or it being a primary thought, because then you will be less susceptible to making those decisions that can ruin something in 15 minutes that took you 15 years to build. We see this going on right now with Shannon Sharp, Lil Wayne, and these women who are trying to sue them in order to bring them down. But it's all because of their lack of discipline when it comes to sex. Them dating OnlyFans models, strippers, prosties, women who are married, and women who they have no business involved with, puts them in a situation that they can't control because they don't have any control. They don't have any discipline. It's very important as a man to be disciplined in more than one area of your life. Now, there's going to be a man who makes the excuse of, oh, that's the only area that I'm not disciplined in life. And I don't believe in that. I feel like when you are not disciplined in one area of your life, although it does take work and no one's perfect, I feel like if you're not disciplined over here, things start to bleed into other areas of your life. You not being sexually disciplined bleeds into your wallet. Once it bleeds into your wallet, it starts bleeding into your bills. Once it bleeds into your bills, it might bleed into your relationship. There's your relationships that you have with other people, and your sustainability as a man, your business, your job, etc., etc. Okay, so trying to entertain a woman can definitely derail a man if his main focus is on sex. Making yourself available for women in case she is a good woman that is worthy of your time is a whole different story. But pursuing a woman strictly for sex, or allowing a woman to tempt you, lure you, coerce you, or seduce you because of sex, where you just put yourself in that situation. But imagine for one moment, in closing, that you removed a woman's ability to seduce you. You removed her ability to lure you in and control you and finesse you, because she threw something short and tight or nothing on at all, and in order to get you to act and behave and respond a certain kind of way. If you remove that ability, then you'd remove 90% of the women in your life who shouldn't be there. And you'd be more focused, and you'd be like, okay, well, this ain't for me. You'll learn the harsh reality is that what's meant for you does not come easy. You must wait for it. It is later on down the line, but there is something else that is part of your purpose that needs to be focused on right now, and it is not poom poom. Okay? And then when that right person comes along and she's able to stimulate you intellectually and mentally, that comes along with it later on. And now you have it attached to something that is more sustainable and meaningful. Okay? So I hope this helps you out. I hope this encourages you in any kind of way, shape, or form. If it does, please give me a like, comment, and or subscribe. But if you are new to my channel, my name is Jerome, and this has been another episode of The Superb Word. Until next time, 2 fingers, y'all. All right.